welcome to Issaquah Buzz, where we talk about all things business in Issaquah, from new restaurants to retail gossip. My name's Autumn Monahan. I work closely with the City of Issaquah's communications team. I'm here today with Jen Davis-Hayes, our Economic Development Manager, and one of my favorite people to gossip business news with. I feel like that's most of our meetings, Jen, is just talking Issaquah gossip and business. Before we turn to Jen, I want to make sure that everyone stays tuned later in our podcast for an interview with Mark Stern, the co-founder of the newest movie theater in town, Big Picture. And now welcome Jen to our first ever podcast. This has been something we've talked about and dreamed about for a long time, and I'm glad that we're finally trying it out. So just to get us started and to introduce you, can you tell us a bit about what economic development means at a city and what your division does?
Yeah, thanks, Autumn. It is exciting to do this first podcast, and it's during Economic Development Week.
Yes.
So many of the things that we do are behind the scenes. So we do things to support businesses, both large and small. So we're here to problem solve. We're the liaison if people have questions about the city or other resources. So trying to find job seekers, trying to find a space in Issaquah. No question is too random. We get some pretty random questions, but that's okay, right? I think that's part of the fun of our job. And overall, we're here to help support the business community and what they need to really grow and to be part of our community and contribute to the amazing quality of life we have in Issaquah. We're really lucky. Lots of businesses want to be here, and we want to help to continue that effort. So I think today we're going to talk about some of those amazing businesses.
Yeah. So let's start with the one I'm hearing most about on social media, and just even with, I also personally live in Issaquah, and so I know I've been talking about it in our family, and I know a lot of our friends have been talking about it. So first up, Paseo. So this is a very famous Caribbean sandwich shop that is slated to open soon in Issaquah. So again, a lot of buzz online. When is it opening? When is it opening? Where is it? All of those types of questions. So what have you heard?
Yeah, so it's slated to open in May or June. As you know, with all of the pandemic supply chain stuff, we hope that they can still stick to that. But so keep checking their website. And I mean, we are going to share that as well. But when they finally do open, it is going to be worth the wait. So they have been on Food Network. They're been highly rated on Yelp's top 100 places to eat in America. And you may remember when they were just a single outlet in Fremont and they had slated to close. It caused an outrage, and people clamored and really allowed them to continue on with their business. So it's really exciting to see that they're coming here to Issaquah.
Yes, I vividly remember my college days at UW and sitting in very long lines to get a Paseo sandwich. My favorite is the Caribbean roast, and specifically all of the caramelized onions that come with it, and then their secret aioli sauce, which I have Googled and tried to figure out, but of course cannot find anything that replicates it. So they also have really good roasted corn. I do love that as a side. So you can tell I am a Paseo lover. Do you have any favorites that you've eaten at Paseo?
Yeah. So, I actually don't eat pork. So it kind of eliminates a lot of those Cubano sandwiches. But I do love their West Caribbean bowls. I love bowls. That's my go-to. But I will say that, with all the chatter about them coming, it inspired my 14-year-old son and I to take a virtual cooking class during the pandemic from PCC to make our own. And that was an endeavor. So I think it's much easier to go to Paseo and get that yummy sandwich. It was fun, but it was a lot of work. So I think they know how to do it, and they do it right. So we'll just go there instead.
When they open up, we definitely need to go, because they also have just a sandwich of just caramelized onions and the aioli sauce. So, I know. Very, very good. Okay, so I admit I have driven by and actually looked for the storefront and maybe tried to peek in the windows. That's how excited I am. Where are they going to be located, and why do you think this may have been a good location for them? Just knowing everything you do about Issaquah businesses.
Oh, yeah. So they're at Lake Sammamish Center on East Lake Sammamish Parkway near Jamba Juice and Chase Bank. So that's in front of the Fred Meyer and next door to where the Home Depot is. And that is a great location, right? So it's easy to get to from most of Issaquah for residents. right off the freeway for visitors that drive through. There's lots of parking. You can go to multiple businesses at once, so you can do your shopping at, you can get your healthcare, you can get your music and arts, you can go to Fred Meyer, you can get multiple things in that one shopping center.
Awesome. All right. So next up, let's turn to Issaquah Highlands. There's a lot of business gossip going on up there, especially with retail and some restaurants. So first up, I heard that Mod Pizza.
Yeah, they did move out of the Highlands. So
thankfully.
Yes. So one of the things that I've said, the unfortunate part is we did lose some businesses during the pandemic, but silver lining is there are more businesses that are interested. There are businesses that have always been interested in Issaquah. So first, when Jose Bank went out, Mod realized that they needed more room. So I don't know how many times I've been there for lunch or after a soccer game or baseball game. My son doesn't play soccer, plays baseball. Then when it's packed. So they have relocated to the former Jose Bank space. So there's going to be much more space to be able to do that. Yeah, kind of weird, right? They're in an ex-clothing store. So now that starts a domino effect. So there's a BB Teriyaki that's going to take over the Mod Pizza space. Okay. So they are not here on the east side. This is a first location. Thank you, coming to Issaquah. They have 3 locations in Seattle. And basically, it's one of those places where you pick your base. So, rice, salad, your protein, and your sauce. And their Instagram says they're slated to open in the second quarter. So we'll be seeing them soon. Awesome. And then you remember the Scout and Molly space? Mm-hmm. That is going to be a Highland Pokey. So same idea where you get to walk down the line and pick all the things you want to create your own special meal. So really excited. I think the folks who are in the Highlands are going to be really excited about all these new choices. But I do have a little sad news for Highland diners. Chinois did close at the end of April, but good news is that a Korean barbecue is slated to take its place. So that's an exciting option. We don't have that anywhere else in our community. And so I think it'll be a real attraction, and we look forward to welcoming them.
Awesome. And then one last one I'd heard about, something about a dessert place. Was it cookies?
Crumble Cookie, yes. Yeah. So they were supposed to come up to where the cupcake place was, and we're still kind of hoping that happens. And that's one of the things is that, we have a really good relationship with the property managers there at Grand Ridge. And the idea is, that we help, inform them about people who are interested, and they let us know. And again, Grand Ridge Plaza is one of those places that there has been a line of people wanting to go up there as a business to serve their community. So we'll see if that one works out. Or if not, there's going to be another one right behind it that's going to be just as exciting. So
that's great. I also have vivid memories of waiting in a long line at Mod Pizza, or placing, a delivery order and it's 2 hours wait, or not even allowed. Yeah. So they've been at capacity a lot. So I'm excited they have more space, and that we've got some new, just interesting food coming to the Highlands. That's exciting. All right, so let's go down the hill from the Highlands to Old Town, and wanting to talk about these 2 new parklets that are on Front Street, and they're outside of, I think, Crowbar and Japan Ginger. Can you tell us a bit about what these spaces are and how they came to be?
Yeah, what is a parklet, right?
Yeah.
So it's called a parklet because it's in a parking space. Not too creative there. But so many people and many of our listeners may not know that this is actually part of a plan that the city adopted in 2017. So to look about things that we can do in the downtown to enliven the pedestrian atmosphere of our beloved downtown. So that, we've done some improvements to widening sidewalks and doing things in the planter strips and new bike racks and those type of things. And so the parklets, provides an opportunity for expanding the outdoor seating for the restaurants, which we saw was really successful in the streetery in the last couple of years, but also, provides a safe space for customers. Nowadays, people want to be outside more. Yeah. And as you know, when it's nice out, we want to be outside too. So it creates more activity and feeling that this is a place that is for people in downtown and not just cars that driving through. So it's a pilot. So we're going to get some data to see how it works. We may expand the opportunity to allow other businesses to do it, which if it's successful. So there's a survey that listeners can fill out. We encourage you to check it out. So you can either fill it out by going down to one of the parklets and using them, or on our social media, and the Downtown Issaquah Association social media will be sending those links out every once in a while. So we want to hear from you guys to find out, is this something we want to see more of?
Yeah. So for these spots, can anybody use them, or only customers of those two restaurants?
So it's going to be mostly during the time. It's going to be for the customers of the two businesses.
Okay.
So there may be some off hours that people are allowed to use them. And, one of the things that the restaurants may do is to, unfortunately, lock up their tables to make sure they're not vandalized or stolen. So, but if they're not, and they're not open, you are able to sit down and enjoy those parklets. But that's one of the things, again, that, we ask the businesses to not only provide all of that, the tables, the chairs, and keep it clean. So we want to make sure that, we're not adding an undue burden on them. So.
Yeah. Okay. I'm excited to try one as the weather hopefully improves here soon.
Yeah.
All right. And then going kind of down Front Street, I'm like doing a mental map here of Issaquah. So I just heard, and I'm very, very excited, and selfishly very excited because City Hall is so close, about a new 55 Sunset, I think is what it said on the sign. It looks like a coffee shop, but what's this? It's right next to Big Picture.
Exactly. So it's in the other half of where Rogue Brewery was. So it's 50. I think it's 55 Sunset Spirits and Coffee and Spirits. And so It is the brainchild of Greg Fossum, who owns the Gas Lamp, but it's something completely different. So it's not a bar, but it is a cafe. So they have a soft opening this week. They're opening officially next week, and they're going to have sandwiches, salads, appetizers. You can get a cocktail, you can get amazing coffee, you can get, a drink. And they're going to be that place that you can go and meet, your friends for, if you're going to the Big Picture or in someplace else in downtown, you can meet there beforehand. You can meet for meetings. They have a Zoom room. So it's going to be you can reserve that room and have those meetings that we all love to have now on Zoom, but it's really going to be a gathering place. And they have been really keen to kind of figure out what Issaquah and what downtown needs. And so I think this is going to be an amazing place. And they are really supportive of the hatchery next door. And I think there's just going to be that strip along there with the hatchery open now and Big Picture and 55 Sunset. It's just going to be this like boom area. And so it's going to be really exciting to see.
That's awesome. This also having kind of a meeting space could be cool for offsite work meetings too. Like if you're doing an offsite retreat or just getting together and having lunch with coworkers and needing a place to work, that'd be awesome.
He says it's going to seat 80 people. So when I walk in there, it doesn't seem like that. So that's true. You could even sit there and have a small team meeting without having to reserve the Zoom room and still feel like you're able to conduct business. So it's going to be really exciting. So we'll see.
Well, that's great. And this is in the area that was kind of more of the production of Rogue Brewery, right? On that side of the building, which it's kind of sneaky, more space than you realize.
Exactly. I think they had a banquet room there too, if you had an event. But it was more back room, and that's why when I walked in there, you realize how big it really was, and I didn't realize that. So, it's beautiful. You walk in and it just feels right, and we're really excited that that a business owner in Issaquah decided that, hey, I like this community enough to invest in a second business, right?
Love it.
And
yes. Oh, I can't wait to go and support it. Okay, so I'm definitely hungry now. We've gone through a whole lot of restaurants, and I've also heard too now, shifting to retail a bit, about a new bookstore in town. What have you heard about that?
Yes. So ever since Barnes and Noble went away during the pandemic, people have said we need a bookstore. And I get it because we are lovers of books, right? We are, everyone loves to go and browse a bookstore. So super excited to learn that an Issaquah resident, Gail lives here in Issaquah, has opened Walls of Books. So it just opened along Gilman. So you know where the Taco Time is on Gilman?
Oh, yeah.
So right next to there, it's in that same strip as 425 Fitness. And
Okay.
so the really exciting thing is when I first talked to her, I said, "Do you realize we just did a survey of our community at the end of 2021, and their biggest ask was a bookstore. So that is what they wanted to see. And, I think that just shows that she's going to be hopefully really successful in our communities because not only she's got new books, but she also has this unique trade and sell program. So I think she's really understands, what it takes to be a small independent bookstore right now, which is a challenge. So we hope that everybody goes out there and supports her, and hopefully welcomes one of our newest businesses to the community. So it's really, again, it's really cool to see that what our community in the survey said they want. We were able to kind of support and open up here in Issaquah. So we have that survey. It's online. It's on our website. So if you go to issaquahwa.gov/business, you'll see what other kind of lots of restaurant ideas, but also lots of other services that people feel that, gosh, I wish we had this in our community. And, one of the things we also notice off of that is that people may not be aware of all the amazing businesses we have. So we're also going to remind people about, the bakeries we have in the community and some other things that we all, maybe not be aware of. So it'll be a fun next couple of months to kind of showcase our businesses and try to bring some businesses to the community that are much needed.
Yes, awesome. And the name of that bookstore again? What was it called?
Walls of Books.
Walls of Books. Okay, and and she's already open.
Yes,
so
she
I can
opened
go check it
last
out.
week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Check it out. So along with helping businesses directly, your team also produces a job fair and often will promote other job opportunities. When is that next kind of opportunity to go to a job fair and kind of learn about what's out there locally?
Yeah. Oh, Autumn, you know what? If every business, as you know, has a help wanted.
Yeah.
Finding employees is the hardest thing. So we started doing annual job fairs, 8 years ago when I started here. And so we switched to virtual over the pandemic. So we did one in fall, and now we're doing one May 19th from 11 to 2. And so businesses, if you haven't signed up yet and you want to sign up for a no-cost booth, which in our virtual world means a Zoom room or a breakout room. And then job seekers, you have to register too. But it's free of charge, and you can come in the day of, and you can speak to any and all the businesses that are interested. So one of the really cool things about our job fair is that our chamber, they represent smaller businesses who maybe they have 1 or 2 openings and they're not able to attend a 3-hour job fair. So if you go to their booth or their breakout room, they then will gather resumes and interested employees for multiple businesses and distribute your resume to them. So that's one thing. If you go, it's not just about getting a job at the chamber. It's about representing lots of different businesses. But we're really, really, really excited to be able to offer this service. And, there's as much as there's need for, new employees, I think there's a lot of people who are kind of looking around and seeing, hey, how can I get my first job? How can I do something a little different? And so hopefully this gives you a chance to look around. And then the next day, Swedish is having an in-person job fair, a hiring fair, on the 20th and May 20th, a Friday. And so they are doing something where, because it's just one business, they can actually talk to you about the job, sit down and interview, and maybe even make an offer. So that is something that streamline. That is, if you really want to get into the healthcare industry, that's one way to go from 0 to 60 in a couple hours.
Wow, and have a job locally. I mean, another key element, people are reassessing kind of commutes and where they want to work. So that's an awesome opportunity. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So not all businesses in town are restaurants or retail. So there's also some that can help other businesses succeed. And I know that you'd mentioned there's a couple new to town that would be interesting to talk about.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When I first started in economic development here, there are, you drive by the businesses in downtown and on Gilman and East Lake Sammamish, and you know that Costco and now REI is in our town, right? But what are in all those other buildings in our community? And so I just learned about two really interesting businesses that have moved into our community, and you never would know because they're not having big signs out saying this is who we are and what we do. So one of them is a food innovation center. Doesn't that sound fancy? I know. I'm like, what do you do? So they actually make baking and pastry and chocolate ingredients for professional bakers, and when I say professional bakers, like businesses that make recipes. So, and they are a Belgian company, and this is their newest food innovation center in the United States. And they basically bring their customers in, and they have their professional staff and the know-how, help them develop new recipes using their products. So around baking, pastries, and chocolate making. So it's not something that you or I could go into, darn it, and buy anything, but it's something that's helping people get more innovative around, like, hey, we got this new product. Instead of just saying, hey, here's a flyer with a new product, they're saying, let us show you how you can use it to enhance what you're baking. So very exciting, and I'm hoping to get a tour when they have somebody in there baking something yummy. So they are over on 4th Avenue in the medical office building. Again, wouldn't even know that they're there. Yeah.
Is this the group that we saw on Twitter, where we saw those really pretty pictures of pastries?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
See, again, always driven by food. I remember seeing that on Twitter and going, why is it tagged in Issaquah? Where can I go eat this?
I know.
Okay.
I was yes, and so when we saw those, I was like, "Where are they?" And I was worried they weren't in Issaquah, but they were just saying they were. But they're here, so that was their grand opening, and they had amazing things for their customers, right? So again, it's that B2B, what we call B2B, business to business. So that's a catchy ED term, right? So another one. So if you know where Karate West was on 221st. So over by the other Taco Time in our community. So Greater Pacific just moved in there. And it's like, okay, what is that, right? So they design and get manufactured promotional items. So, they can do unique bobbleheads for you. They do, employee gifts. And when I looked at their website and reached out to them, it's like, it sounded like a really fun company, right? So you're, it's not just, a pen, right, that has your name on it. It's really getting to like, okay, what do you want to portray in this gift and or giveaway? And so they have designers and people that are going to really help you do that, and then find a way to get that manufactured. So, and they're not small. They're working with Major League Baseball teams. They're working with small businesses. They're everywhere in between. So again, to think about this business that you may drive by, but you wouldn't know that they have this national and international reach of what they do. And so I think, that's one of the things about economic development is that, we know, again, our big companies, Costco's, Microsoft's, REI in our community, but there's a lot of other business opportunities for you to work in here, and for us to kind of be connect with that can really help support our entire community. So it's kind of cool.
Great. Yeah. These are both really cool. Again, secret in a way to us, not driving by and not really realizing. So
no, there's a lot of cool ones.
Awesome. All right. So next we're gonna switch gears a bit and bring in a special guest, Mark Stern. So he is the owner of Big Picture, Issaquah's newest movie theater, to talk about his opening and just that exciting news in Issaquah. So let's turn to that.
So now we're here with our special guest, Mark Stern from the Big Picture, Issaquah's newest movie theater. And we're so excited to talk with you about this exciting news. So I want to learn more about how did you get involved in the movie theater business?
Well, it's a long story, but I'll make it short. So my family opened up their first movie theater in 1927 in Chicago, silent theater. And in 1931, during the height of the Depression, my grandfather and my great uncle had a big decision to make, and that was this new technology called talkies. And if you can imagine, my uncle graduated Phi Beta Kappa from the University of Chicago, and my grandfather was the junior partner, the younger brother of the duo. And my grandfather had to convince my great uncle that talkies were not going to be a fad and that they should invest in the new technology. It was around about $10,000, and that was a lot of money back then during the Depression. They came up with the money, and they opened up this theater in 1931. It was their flagship theater called the Cinema Theater on Chicago and Michigan Avenue. And happy to say that I'm a third-generation movie theater owner, independent, you know.
Right. Wow. That's some history there. So tell me about how you got into the big picture. And so how did that evolve from the talkies to the big picture?
Well, to be honest, I'm thrilled that my life changed, that I was able to move here with Katie, my wife and partner. But big picture was always supposed to be in Wilmette, Illinois by Northwestern University. So 26 years ago, I called the village president of Wilmette, and I wanted to pitch him my vision of the future of movie going and what it would entail. So I called the village president up on the phone, and I said, "Hi, I'm Mark Stern," and he's like, right away, it wasn't going well. He was like, "What do you need?" It wasn't, "Hi, okay, what can I do for you?" So right away, I was like, okay, and I was a lot younger back then and did not have the business experience that I have today. So I said, well, I believe the future of movie going and movie theaters has to change. And in order to change it, you have to incorporate alcohol, cocktails. And I said, I want to apply for a liquor license at the Wilmette Theater. And I said, what do you think about that? And there was a pause, and he said, what do I think about it? I think it's a terrible idea. You will never serve liquor in Wilmette, and I resent that you're even applying for the license. So it was like 1, 2, 3 punches.
Wow.
And it was like, right. So now I'm like, I'm stunned, and there's a pause again. And he says, is there anything else I can do for you, sir? And I said, well, no, I guess not. And he goes, good day, sir. And I thought it was in merry old, London.
Yeah.
I was like Dickens.
Wow. And he said, do for you. I don't think he did anything for you as a city employee, but anyway.
So long story short, I called up the Chicago Sun-Times, and in those days, there was no internet, there was no phones as we know it, nothing. And the Chicago Sun-Times, I called up and I said, hey, it's Mark Stern. Oh, Mark, how are you? Because we advertise thousands of dollars in movie ads back then, and now everything's on the internet.
Yeah.
So what's going on? And I said, well, what do you? I'm gonna apply for a liquor license at the Wilmette Theater. I said, do you think that would be newsworthy? And the woman said on the phone, wait a minute, you want to serve liquor in a movie theater? And I said, yes. And I said, do you think that would be newsworthy? And she goes, yeah, I think so, but let me talk to my editor. And literally 5 minutes later, she called back, and it was the editor or assistant editor. And you want to serve liquor in a movie theater? And I said, yes, I think it's going to be the future. And so she goes, well, we're going to come tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., and I want to interview you about what you want to do. And I said, that's great. Thank you. So I hang up the phone, and literally just a couple minutes later, the phone rings again. And the editor says, would it be okay if we bring a photographer with us? And I was like, great.
Yes, please.
So anyways, long story short on that one, the next day I was prepared for the photo. So underneath this large movie theater marquee that my family's movie theater, I was in a suit, and I had a big bag of popcorn in one arm. And underneath, in the other hand, I should say, I had one of these medieval goblets, with Coca-Cola in it.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know.
Can tell.
So I, pretending it's red wine.
Yeah.
And they take the shot, and it's me sipping from this big goblet of Coca-Cola, pretending it's red wine. And anyways, that was the shot. And
wow.
The next day, I was on the front page, half the page. Wilmette Theater manager applies for beer and wine license. Of course, it was more than that. And at the hearing, which was packed with people and about 9 council members, not one person, not one, supported us to have a liquor license.
Wow.
And it was a resounding fail, epic fail of, but here we are today. And we are drinking cocktails in movie theaters, aren't we?
Yeah. So how did that happen? So how did you go from that to the big picture?
Well, I had a 5-screen theater in Chicago that was my own. And Katie had a really good job with a Warren Buffett company, one of his many companies. And I was able to get out of this theater that I had. And Katie, left her corporate job. We drove here in a small little car, 2,000 miles, and I found a sign in the window of an alley by El Gaucho in Belltown, movie theater cafe for lease. And I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
And anyways, we did a lot of work, and we opened up Big Picture in Belltown, and we did get the liquor license. It changed my life for what I wanted to do. It was my own little entrepreneurial dream to own a theater, of course, but it had to have cocktails.
Yeah. So what made you think that cocktails were the future of the theater business?
Well, if you go anywhere, because I was always a big fan of a guy named Ian Schrager who created Studio 54 with Steve Rubell, and then he recreated the hotel experience. He created what was called then boutique hotels in New York.
Okay.
So now he takes these dilapidated hotels and he turns them into the hottest hotels where you can't even get in, can't get a reservation. But what he did is he transformed the lobbies like no one had ever done before. So he turned the lobbies into these really plush like clubs with a bar. And I was like, well, if we reinvent the movie theater experience, which it had to be, you had to change the vibe.
Yeah.
When you go to a multiplex forever, it's a cookie cutter generic experience.
Yep.
There's nothing different about it.
Yep.
And we felt that if we just change the vibe, but you have to have liquor. If you don't have liquor, who hangs out in a hotel bar? You don't go to, ballparks, even golf courses serve liquor. Is that true?
Yep.
So why would the only place in America be precluded from serving liquor? It's the movie theaters.
Right.
Couldn't do it. It was like taboo. And I just felt that it would make the movie-going experience much more hipper and more fun. You could book parties and events, because who wants to have a birthday party? Oh, yeah. Would you like a soda with your birthday party? So, it just, it changed the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
And now theaters serving cocktails are all over the country.
Yes.
But I think that we still have something unique, and that's the vibe and the intimacy, because we only build single-screen theaters right now. And the other thing is we do something that most theaters don't do, none that I know of, actually, where you could pre-order your drinks and then tell us the row letter and seat number, and then at different times during the movie, we bring your next drink to you, so you don't even miss the movie.
Nice.
And you know how when you order popcorn, it comes in a bag? We serve it in a champagne bucket, and so we're not wasting bags.
Very eco-friendly.
Eco-friendly. And candy is served, if it's pourable, like M&Ms or Junior Mints, we serve it in a chilled rocks glass.
Wow.
So it's very different on everything.
Yeah, the experience sounds like it's something that you can't get anywhere else. So why Issaquah? How did you end up here?
For being one of the smallest business owners in America, my stories are crazy. So first of all, we're here because of rejection, because I couldn't do my dream in Wilmette.
Yeah.
Now we're here in Issaquah because of rejection again. So our landlord gave, or I don't know how he did it, but his son took over the ownership of the El Gaucho building.
Sure.
And the first thing he did is he didn't renew El Gaucho's lease after they were there for 23 years. He promised us a 20-year extension, and we never heard from him again. And we finally were able to get him to take our call. And he calls us. So this is after paying rent for 21 years. Now I'm a little older now, and this is my livelihood.
Yeah.
And this landlord, building owner, says to me, I just want you to know we rented your theater to someone else. That was on April 22nd, 2020. And the lease was going to run out on May 31st, 2020. So he gave us, after paying his family rent for 21 years, and of course, them, asking for free gift certificates for 21 years, they gave us 5 weeks notice to get rid of several tons of equipment.
Yeah.
And this is during the pandemic.
COVID. Yeah.
So guess what?
Closure.
Who wants to help you? Nobody.
Yeah.
So with a snap of a finger, I'm older, I'm unemployed,
Okay.
got a kid, a house.
Yeah.
It was pretty scary.
I bet. So then
we
pulled it up.
We
pulled
pulled it up, and we looked. We were talking to some brokers, real estate brokers, and when you're dealing with real estate brokers, commercial, they really want. First of all, they want a big commission, and they want signature tenants with multiple uses. Like Panera Bread, something that's so safe, and they want rents that are really high. And we couldn't get a broker to really want us.
Yeah.
So, and we're thinking, wow, we're big picture, and people have had a great experience coming to our venue. But that wasn't enough. So we started driving around, and I saw a sign in the window at this brew pub. It was like the most inexpensive sign you could get at Ace Hardware. And we called the number, and I told the owner of the building who I was. And I said, well, want to do a movie theater. And he couldn't understand, nor how could he? Wait a minute, how you want to do a movie theater in my space? So he was kind of, I think, he asked like several times just to make sure I'm hearing this right. You want to do a movie theater in my building. And
it's not a movie theater building. It's not a big building.
No. And my wife was the designer. Katie is amazing. So
she is.
Thank you. And if you come to Big Picture, see if you like it. And then if you do like it, say Katie, because it wasn't me.
It was you mentioned before about the lobby of a hotel. When you walk in there, it is amazing. You just feel comfortable right away and welcoming. But you did not start there. So
no.
So you looked at the space.
It was a lot of work.
And
it was really damaged. It was. This is my 9th project, 5 in Chicago.
Okay.
Where I was either the head decision maker or the owner, and 4 projects here where we were always the owner. And this was the most challenging, scariest project I ever took on, and this was harder than building a 5-screen movie theater complex in a Chicago area. I've never been afraid of any project I've ever taken on. This is the first project that ever scared me.
Why is that?
Well, the work was extensive. There was a lot of damage. There were so many things that needed to be brought up to code. The plumbing bill alone would be hard to swallow. And that's just one item.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of work. But we did it, and
amazing.
I'm happy and grateful. And Issaquah is like Belltown. They are both strong communities. And we didn't really find that energy in Bellevue. We weren't finding it in Kirkland. And we definitely didn't, see it in Redmond. And Issaquah just, the energy of the way the neighborhood is, and the way people were rooting for us and introducing themselves to us, it was Belltown, but it's now Issaquah.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you saw lots of people peeking in the windows and wondering when you're coming. I mean, so I know we've talked for several months, and I think the building owner had waited to find the right tenant. I mean, I don't think he would ever thought it was going to be a movie theater, but he really knew when he understood your concept and heard your passion and your experience that this is going to be an attraction for downtown. And that is what you are.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean, we are so lucky to have you in downtown and in Issaquah. And I mean, tell us some of the different things that you do there. So you can obviously go get a drink.
Yes.
You can go and go to a movie and enjoy the popcorn and some other munchies. But what other things can you do there?
A lot of parties.
Okay.
So if you want to do a party, just call or email us, and you can have a birthday party there. You can have our food. We make a good Wagyu burger, and the Chicago-style hot dogs, Seattle-style hot dogs are represented too. So we've got some really good food items. But one of the fun things is the parties and events that we book. And that's a big part of, Big Picture has always been, parties and events. A lot of corporate events in the daytime, PowerPoint. You can stream shows. So everything is actually being finished tomorrow. Oh, wow. So we've got a really good tech who's completing the project. And I think you know this. To market Big Picture, I would see people peeking in, and I would open the door, and I would say, "Hey, do you want to see the new place?" Right?
Yeah.
And then I would let them go into the theater, and I would say, "Would you like to hear Top Gun Maverick on our sound system?" Yes. Did I do that to you?
Yes, I can't wait to see it.
So how do you like our sound system?
It is amazing. And so it's a small theater, very comfortable. And I don't know if you remember, I moved in different seats. I'm like, okay, I want to hear it here. I want to hear it over here. There is not a bad seat there, and they're comfortable, and it just felt right. I mean, it was just, because when you're in those big movie theaters, you just feel like you're in a big movie. I don't know. It just felt really amazing. And that was, I didn't even have popcorn or, anything else at that time. Well, so I can't wait.
Next time, truffle butter.
Top Gun, I'm really looking forward to opening. When is that opening now?
May 26th.
Okay.
And that is going to be amazing for me and Katie, because if you ever wanted to own a movie theater, and you're going to have a new theater, and what could possibly be the movie you could show off your sound system on? It's this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's immersive, what we've installed, and it makes you feel like you're part of the movie. The other fun thing is, with Big Picture, you can just buy out a show for you and your friends.
Wow. I want to do that.
So it's pretty affordable.
Okay.
So you can just email us or call, and you could say, "Hey, the 6:00 show or the 5:30 show, I want to buy that out." Okay. And then we provide you with a VIP area with the red velvet rope.
Nice.
And now you have food brought in. We have a catering partner. And now you have food before showtime. And at showtime, you bring your food and your cocktails. You go into the theater. You pre-order a drink for delivery during the movie, and we bring it to you. So these are unique things that we do that other theaters really don't do. It's more, I think because we're small and we're, more of a mom and pop business, it's easy to get a hold of us, because it's hard to really coordinate an event with a chain.
Right.
So it's a little easier. Hopefully you'll see sometime if you want to do an event. But, I don't know. It's what do you think? I mean, do you like the idea of being able to have a cocktail brought to your theater seat during the movie?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well,
I mean, again, it's an opportunity, not like you said, not to have to get up and not to have to squeeze between people and miss something, and just enjoy that, the entertainment that you're there for, because everyone is so busy. And when they take that special time out, whether it's with family or friends, and you just want to enjoy the show, but your spot is 21 and above, right? So I don't have to worry about, a crying baby in the theater or anything like that, right? So it's safe
always,
for that.
It's always for guests 21 and older. We've had customers always, not everybody, but we've had so many customers over 2 decades say that they like it that way.
Yeah.
And we do one thing that we've never done with our movie theaters, the 9 theaters that I've operated. This is the first theater that we've ever built and opened where you don't need a movie ticket to come and enjoy the space. So that's a first for us.
People can come do happy hour, come get a drink, and then go over across the street.
Meet up. Yeah. We do a lot of meetups now.
Oh, yeah.
So we're only like 9 weeks old, and we've got all these customers calling or emailing saying, can we, just reserve an area for our friends to just come in and be together or celebrate. So we're booking some nice things quickly, which is good. It wasn't that way when we first opened Big Picture. When we first opened Big Picture in Belltown in early 99, we had no customers. And sometimes I would sit there by the phone and the phone would ring and people would say, what time's the movie start? And I would say, what time can you get here? We'll wait for you. I mean, what works for you? So
you had private movie theater.
It was tough. It was tough at first.
Yeah. Well, you and Katie have done so much work to get it to where it is. And I mean, to say that you moved in 9 weeks and you're already getting corporate bookings and meetups, but you're still, like you said, you're still a small business owner. And that's really what downtown Issaquah and all of Issaquah is like. And so have you made any connections with other businesses in downtown then?
Well, we're meeting people all the time that are coming in and saying hi and making us feel welcome and thank you. I mean, it's been, I don't know how to say this, but it's so unbelievable how many people have thanked us for coming to Issaquah. Yeah. And it's like amazing. And, you remember you're talking about, for a while, we didn't have anything going on. So to go from zero income to at least have a job again, but to have people come and thank us for being in downtown or in Issaquah is so grateful. And so, not to get the violins out, but it's been amazing. Okay.
That's good. Well, that's the feeling we want people to feel when they're in Issaquah. And it's not, it's not fake, right?
No,
we truly appreciate, because we understand how hard small businesses work and what you bring to our community, right? Wow. So you, obviously you're bringing jobs, you're bringing entertainment, part of the arts and culture and the creative district of downtown and Gilman. And so there's just so many more things we can be doing. So I look forward to really seeing what happens next with Big Picture. And so, the summer's coming and maybe we'll start seeing you outside and be able to hang out.
Maybe we can do something fun.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to pursue that.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I'm grateful for you too. And the city of Issaquah for, making us feel so welcome. I really want to thank you and everybody. So appreciate it.
Well, this is what we do. Wow. So we're really excited to have you as our inaugural guest on the Issaquah Buzz.
This is, again, unbelievable.
First time.
I thank you. I took a picture, obviously. I'm going to show that. I asked you, can I put it on my Facebook page? I think that's okay.
Yes, that's okay. Yes, we'd love to get the buzz out about Issaquah Buzz. So,
no problem.
Yeah, so definitely be letting your folks know, your networks know about Issaquah Buzz. And if there's other great things going on in the Issaquah, we want to hear about them. So thank you so much, Mark, for coming. We love the Big Picture.
Wow.
And can't wait to celebrate your 1st, your 5th, your 20th anniversary here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So that's a wrap on our first edition, Jen, of Issaquah Buzz. Thank you for joining me on this new adventure and trying something new. I hope that all of our viewers and listeners enjoyed hearing a bit of the Issaquah business gossip. Join us next time to hear more about local business news, like perhaps a local H Mart. We'll see. And let us know if you have any favorite businesses or hear a rumor that we can track down and talk about at our next edition. So contact us at ed@issaquahwa.gov. And again, thanks, Jen, for joining me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Autumn. This was really fun, and we hope that everybody enjoyed it.
Great. Thanks.